be to lead conversation. I am Barbara, and I am thrilled to be joined here by Dr. Swanali Gupta, a scientist, an image coach, and executive presence strategist. Dr. Swanali, I'm so happy to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Barbara, for inviting me on your platform. It is an honor, really. It is an honor. Thank you.
Honor, pleasure is mine. We had a little bit of adventures here with the technology, so let's see if we can make it to get to the end of this. So, um, Dr. Sranali,
Yes, please.
um, where, what does an image coach and strategist actually do? Because we often think of an image strategist, a coach in this area as somebody that has to do just with aesthetics, but actually it is more complex than that, isn't it? So, what do you actually do as an image coach and strategist?
Barbara, I will say it is not complex. It is very simple. And image consultants are professionals. They are trained professionals who work on people's personal and professional image. So that person, how they are going to show up to the world in their professional setup, in their personal life, in their social life. So they are trained with uh, different tools and techniques which they provide to their clients. Now, if you ask this question to me, for me, it's a different ballgame altogether. In these days, I started with an image consultant who works on appearance, behavior, body language, communication. But now I feel that what is our inner game going on here inside of us in terms of our thinking, in terms of our emotions, that needs to be, that always comes up, right? So I work with my clients, first of all, energetically, and I feel that energy of the person should enter the room first. And I have just done a video shoot on that. I talk about it all the time, that you first showcase your energy as a leader, as a workforce, as an employer, as a human being. That what is your energy state? Number one. Number two is I work on them, of course, vocally, that how you can use your vocal power. Because if you are a leader, I work on this area of executive presence, and I call myself an image strategist. So simply I strategize the image depending on whom I'm working, because people come from different backgrounds, different culture. And nowhere, Barbara, I lived in various places. Nowhere, no schools, no colleges have taught us that how we should present ourselves in the best of our ability, so people understand us the way we actually are. And that's where in this field I work. Yeah.
Beautiful. And for those who do not know you, you have a strong scientific background in research, right? So maybe you want to introduce a little bit your background, and then maybe you want to share with us um, what made you shift from research in the scientific field, transition to image consultant. What inspired you with this transition?
Yes. Uh, Now I am in this field for a long time, and when I started, it is really no inspiration was there, and I'm sorry to say that, and I'm I'm very apologetic, not apologetic, unapologetic rather, for being so honest and authentic. There was no inspiration. I left my career like thousands of mothers, millions of mothers all over the world, they do when the child was born. So my husband was a corporate leader, and to we decided when our daughter was born that one of the parent has to take care of the girl, of the child, because my husband was moving from different countries for his work, and I chose to stay back with my daughter. And I thought I'm taking a sabbatical for a longer sabbatical, but that sabbatical turned into 15 years. So when my daughter went to grade 10, and I was in a situation where I felt the child is independent, I spent that time as a mother with the child, and no regret really, no regret. It's such a good thing that I could do that. So many moms, they can't leave their job, and they want to spend that time with their child. And there are so many moms who leave their jobs, and then they, with the situation, they can't come back. So I'm very blessed that I could come back, but in a different field altogether. So literally there was no inspiration, but only inspiration was to spend the time with my child. That was
Yeah.
it.
And would you like to share a little bit what is your background in scientific research about?
Yes, absolutely. So I did my undergrad, grad school, and PhD and postdoctoral work in human physiology. That is how the human body works. My dad was an eye surgeon, and I also thought that I am going to be a doctor. I will do medicine, but somehow I landed up in human physiology, and I love this subject. And it was heartbroken. I was really heartbroken when I had to leave it, and I was doing my postdoctoral work at that time. So my research work and postdoctoral work was in an allied science of cell biology, and in postdoctoral fellowship, I did work on gene regulation, and in gene regulation laboratory, a similar kind of work. But then I had to leave it, and that was a regret. But it's not a regret anymore, because I talk about science all the time. I bring in science and scientific, because everything for me comes from a strong, because of my strong scientific research background. I cannot really accept anything if that doesn't have a scientific proof. Just if I take a makeup session, I
Yeah.
start with Harvard Business Review, that experiment they have done on makeup and its effect on corporate executives. So I'm still there, still connected.
Beautiful. And how would you say, Dr. Swanali, that this background actually impact your work? Does it have any special impact? Because it is very unusual, right? To come from your background and then turn into an image consultant and strategist. So how does your scientific background impact the work you do today?
Yeah. Thank you for this question. It is very important question for me, because in every field there are so many talented professionals, right? So how I stand out in that area, like for all of us, we need to find out that what is that special area where we can stand out. And for me, I think it's the marriage between image and science. And I have to tell you how I have chosen this. First of all, that I chose it because I lived in few places in the world. Although I grew up in a small town near Kolkata in India, and then when I went to different countries, different culture, I struggled a bit, because by that time I was a stay-at-home mom, and I was not very sure how I show up, what is the in that particular culture, how I dress up, how I talk, what are the etiquettes here, what is the laws of the land, how I'm going to how they are going to perceive me. And also I have seen corporate world from very close quarters through my social lens, through my husband's friends and other, like office colleagues. And I have seen it's not only me. There are people, because there is no particular solid education we
Hmm.
have on this field, that how we show up, what is the communication, how we communicate, and all these things. So this is at the same time when I started this career, I stumbled upon this course, and I just grabbed this course, and I felt this is so important, and none of us have been taught this. And when I started like an image consultant, I was just talking about the appearance and behavior, body language, but slowly I understood that what is the logic behind it, why a person has to show up in a certain way, so that person's branding gets improved. And there the science comes. There I bring lot of science, and I will give you an example. Like we talk about executive presence. Now, this lady, I always, I'm sorry, I will just take see the name, I have written the name here, Rosalind Brewer. She was the CEO of Walgreen. Now, for her, how these things matter, she was the CEO of Walgreen. Now, when she became the CEO, New York Stock Exchange price actually shot up by $2 billion. It became $2 billion when she came in. And the insider story was because of her executive presence, because of her charisma, because of her leadership skills, the company became more famous and doing better and doing bigger. So these are the scientific research which is there in the market, there in the you can find out those things. So when I'm working with a client, and when that my I work, I'm very blessed to work with the senior people, and when they come and they tell me, Swarnali, why you are telling me to do this, so I bring in lots of research and lots of research that has been done there, that is already documented. So for me, even the science part, even the neuroscience part, that how our brain is working when we are taking a decision. Like in decision making, there are lots of thoughts coming, lots of brain activities are happening, right? Everything is coming from here, from our prefrontal cortex. So I can explain that to my client when I'm doing the session. So I really bring in a lot of scientific uh, I cite a lot of scientific experiments and research works to my clients. So the logical and analytical brain, what the leaders have, it satisfies that.
And I think that, and I think that for executives and leaders, that also is important, because often we need to understand, even from a scientific perspective, how what we do and how we behave impact us, right? So, what are key challenges that your clients have so that they come to you?
Yeah, I think if I have to say, if I have to streamline it to one thing, it will be they feel stuck. They feel stuck in their current position. I have so many leaders who have come to me saying, Swanali, we are doing very well. My PNL is looking good. Everything is good. I'm doing well as a leader. I'm getting, kind of good feedback from my manager, from my bosses. But I have not been promoted for 6 years, 7 years. And why is so? So then I thought I will go to an image consultant and I will find out that where I'm doing wrong, what is not working for me. So this is a challenge people face, that they feel stuck and they don't know what to do, because then we assess them, we get a stock of the person that who has come, and then we see that where they are facing the challenge. I have this kind of story with a leader, and she comes from a very strong, top world's top, one of the top financial company and banking company. And she told me, Swarnali, I'm a leader. Of course, she has done a 6 months course with me, and she got a promotion after 6 months of that.
Wow.
That's wonderful. But she told me that I'm a leader, so my team has to listen to me, isn't it? And I said, no, your team can listen to you in the office. But she wanted her team to go take them for some dinner or somewhere. But she is such an high-handed leader. She was not understanding why the team is not. She's doing so much for the team, but still, what's happening, where it is going wrong. So sometimes the leaders, it's like a blind spot which we don't understand that where we are going wrong. So if a third party comes and tells you that, it's always helpful, and we do that.
You have shared in a previous conversation that we had that you have both men and women as clients, right? And I was wondering, if you could share with us, is there any difference in the way men and women relate to images? Do you notice any difference? And how? It's because from what you have shared, a lot of men also, right, come to an image consultant and strategist. So, how do men relate to image, and they come to you therefore for help, versus how women do that?
True, but for me, I don't know, this is something very strange, but for me, my most clients are men.
Interesting.
Having said this, I have women leaders or women came to me for their image, but I believe that men, as a women, we are quite aesthetically, you know, from our childhood, we are aesthetically tied up, wired, I will say, for that. For
Hmm.
men, probably they never bothered to really focus. Not today's youngsters are doing extremely well there, but I'm talking about my generation. They always focused on their education,
Hmm.
the how they earn more money, how they can grow in their professional ladder, and that's all they have done. And suddenly they're realizing only that is not working out. So there are image consultants, which is a new industry in the sense that it was not so structured before. So now they are coming and they want what I feel in men. They don't want to know why I'm giving them some colors, why I'm telling them to wear a certain spec. Because for me, if somebody is coming from image, my work on this person is, depending on in general, is to elevate the image of that person, if appearance wise. Now how I can do that? I can only do it with his clothes. I give the clothes according to their body shape, because that they have no clue that what is body shape, what kind of clothes is available in the market. Suppose
Hmm.
a European cut suit, that particular fit will probably not fit in to an Indian body shape in a general way. So it's a slender body type, and this body type is not slender. Now these are the things. If I explain, a lady will be very happy to get that knowledge, but men don't care. That's what I have experienced. So they just tell me that, Swanali, I don't have time. You just tell me what I have to do. I will just do that. So that
Hmm.
faith they have, and for me, I will choose their specs. I will choose their pocket square. I will choose their cuts, and because I see my clients and I understand it. And when the men come, they just want to learn it, one, and they apply it, and that's it. They don't want a detailed kind of the color and the cut and the texture and the fabric. They just want something which is wearable, which is breathable, and which is comfortable. Whether for the women, they are more aesthetically inclined. But as an image consultant, my job is to make my clients look more appropriate, more authentic, and always I try to balance their energy. As I said, the yin and the yang, the both of them has to be balanced, so that my client would look more balanced when the client is sitting there, or coming or walking, or interacting with others.
This is fascinating. And you mentioned the word authentic. So people feel more authentic, right? So can you share with us why image is so important? Of course, we know that the perception, the way people see you has an impact. But I understand from the work you do that actually taking care of our image has an inner impact as well. And that's why also you are mentioning they feel more authentic. So why is it image so important even from the inside? And that will lead us probably to the idea of executive presence as well. So why image has is such a powerful tool in your experience?
Image is an extremely powerful tool in today's world. We are living, Barbara, in a VUCA world. So I will say that if you can control, because I am saying that I had that and I controlled it. If you can control your ego by saying that, oh, I have a top MBA from a top big school in the world, I have a PhD from a top school in the world, and all this thing, blah blah. My IQ is genius category, and all these things are there. On top of that, you have so many competitors who are there to take your job, to take your chair. So, why in today's world you don't keep any stones unturned? It is an add on if you also look like a CEO, if you look like a leader. So that's why image is important. And why it is authentic. Without, I think authenticity is such a word. It is the crux of everything for me. Now, if I am here on LinkedIn with you and everything I'm telling you, if I don't walk the talk, there is no point of just with the lip service and, kind of uttering few words, right? So, whatever a person should do, you have to be so strong inside that whatever you do, authentically you are doing, and you have your core is so strong that that authenticity, that confidence comes with that. So this is so important to be authentic. It is a given because with authenticity, trust comes, and trust is connected to truth, right? So a leader, if the leader is not authentic, employees, the no one will trust the leader, and the organization will not trust the leader. So it is very important whom you are taking into that leadership role. Today's leaders, as I said, that it is changing. The world is changing, right? And we also have to change accordingly. The leaders have to be more show up as one person, not fragmented. If you are a leader, you are a leader on your professional world, and then that leadership quality, what you are exhibiting to your employees, to your boardrooms, please go back at your home and show it to your partner. You know what I mean? And that's what authenticity is needed.
So, how, if I come to you and I need your service and I need your contribution, how would your impact show up in my world? So let's say that I come to you, I have few sessions, we work on my image, both from the external perspective, from the aesthetics of it, and then I will have some effects on the inside as well. What would I see happening in my organization, for example? How does your work impacts my success?
Yeah. So when I work with someone, especially as I told you, I start with inside because our inside shows up outside. So if we don't have the inner balance, outer brilliance never comes. Whatever we put outside, and that's so image. There is no facade. So it has to come from here. Now inside, if I work with you, but I know you, you are such a strong leader yourself. But suppose I work with someone like you, I have to first start with the inside. The leaders, of course, they know their SWOT, they know what is their strength, they know what is their areas where they can work, but they have to accept it. First thing happens that there is a blind spot. So for me, also, there is a team. Now, also, I'm on LinkedIn Live and I have a team, and I told them, I don't want to hear that, ma'am, you have done very well. I want to hear where I can improve. It's very important. But if we are a senior leader, if you're a big leader, sometimes what happens that we get so many accolades. Everybody is saying, sir, ma'am, you are so beautiful, you are so nice, you have done extremely well. So the ego comes in. So we keep it at check. We need to see that we keep it at check. We open our blind spot. We take feedback. Now, are you someone, are you open to feedback? Or are you someone who is close to feedback? So I have to work in this area. Otherwise, whatever feedback I give you, you will not implement it. But who is coming from upfront to me is actually wants the change. So they will work on that. Now, first I will start from the what is the self-esteem? Where you stand? What is the confidence? Is it that shaky confidence that if I'm standing here, I'm sitting here, and somebody bigger than me in terms of whether image consultant or the prime minister of the company, president of a country, whoever, and then my confidence starts shaking inside? You know what I mean? So here is that it's not on the person who is outside, how strong I am here. I am that I need to check first with my clients. And I find sometimes they are shaky there. So there are tools and techniques and questionnaire which I use to find out that you are fantastic when you are the boss. How you are doing with the other bosses where you don't know. First time you are meeting them, they are stronger than you. Their presence is executive presence is more higher than you. but can you still hold yourself? And we all can practice that. And that is the confidence I work upon, and it is coming from the self esteem, self worth, how we see ourselves, where we can stop comparison. So from there, then I will check your, of course, the image, appearance, part, behavior, body language, how you're communicating. What is your assertive communication? How much assertion you have? What is your adaptability quotient? How much adaptable you are? So if we are, there is a checklist.
Mm-hmm.
There's a checklist. If I am working on all the checklists with you, will you go back after 6 months? It is not a makeover. It is not a makeover. It is a practice, and you have to practice with me. You have to practice alone. You have to come back to me again. We will work together again. This is the way. And then finally, the change will happen. And people around surrounding you will see that change. And it has happened with my client in, in 2, 3 sessions. She told me, she called me and she told me, Swanali, I don't know what's happening. Everybody, I'm in this organization for 7 years. Now suddenly everybody is turning and looking at me and seeing at me as a different me. And that's the change an image consultant can bring into your life.
So it seems like you are kind of cultivating executive presence by would you agree with that? So how do you define executive presence?
See, executive presence, I think the crux of it is 3 words. It's you show up those 3 words through your presence. For me, it's your dignity, it's your confidence, and it's your poise. And executive presence, I don't think there is a foolproof 100% definition for it. If you see that person, you can see that person has it or don't have it. Or if they don't have it, you can inculcate it. Everything is a learnable skill. We are not born with executive presence. We have learned how we communicate. So I have done a course on what a 1 year program, and there my executive presence coach, professor, he told us about some, like, it's a checklist. It's called mission critical checklist. If you are sending a spacecraft in the space, there are some mission critical checklist. If a surgeon is going for an operation, surgeon is checking some of the things that before the operation is being done. If the flight is taking off, before that the pilot is checking few things. These are the checklists that tick 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 tick. For a leader, if you want to sit in that big chair, what is your checklist? Are you aware of this? So how you command the room, how you embrace your people, that comes automatically to some leaders. So we can see some fabulous leaders in the organization. But finally, Barbara, I think it boils down to our heart, our kindness. And you will see the top leaders all over the world, even whoever are there, wherever organization, they're all kind people at the core.
It's very powerful. And have you noticed in your work some misconceptions, common misconceptions about image and presence that you need to clarify to your clients?
Oh, yes, all the time. All the time. I don't have to clarify to my clients, because when prospects come and have a call with me and asking me that whatever their challenges are, if I work, it's not that I know I can solve everything, because if I am working on soft skills, I don't work on all the soft skills because it's an umbrella word, right? So whatever I can do, and my clients, when they're coming, they know that they have that faith in me that I can give it, I can deliver it. Now, for them, it is okay. But otherwise, in general, when I'm doing a networking session, I'm going to a social event, people have no understanding what an image consultant, unless and until it's a superficial gloss. Oh, Swanali, it's all about makeup and your dress. No, it is not. If I'm showing up in this way, because it's a LinkedIn live. I'm wearing this black color, and you are also wearing for a reason. I'm sending a message to my clothes. Sending a message to my body language. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sending a message when I'm using my hands. I'm sending a message with my words. So it is not a superficial gloss, but people think it is. But image consultants wear many hats. Image consultants work as makeup artists, they work on just the wardrobe, they work on just the appearance part. Image consultants also work on just the communication part, and there are many who are working as a whole in three parts of communication, that is your visual, verbal, and vocal. For me, I do that and I go, as I said. Energetically, I can bring how I can how I can showcase my work through my client, how I can bring in my client's energy and tell them that what are the soft powers they can use in their professional and personal lives. And that's not the hard power, what is given by to you by your company. What is that soft thing you can do? And that's where I can work, and that's actual image management is all about. It is encompassing your whole life, really.
And have you worked with somebody whose self perception was very different than the perceptions other has or had on him or her? And how do you help this person to close the gap, so to speak?
Yeah, true. So yeah, I have worked with an organization where before I have started the work, and there were 35 of them, and I didn't know them. Of course, my first interaction with them, and mostly they were doctors. And HR told me about one lady who is quite aggressive, and she's otherwise sweet, but she becomes very aggressive at times. So HR told me that you bring in some kind of change into her, otherwise she not a troublemaker, but she speaks very very insulting. So when I saw her, it was hard to believe that I have already had this note about her, because she was so sweet towards me, and she was so sweet. And this organization, the people who they have chosen were not necessarily they knew each other. So she was new to everyone, and she was a doctor, and I found her very sweet. But it took me some time to find out why the HR is telling me that. And I found out it is her. She's not really bad, she's just cutthroat, authentic, honest, but there is a way you say it. So there is a problem. But she, in her inside, she's thinking she's a fantastic, fabulous person, which she was. Only a little bit of tweaking outside, that how you communicate. Otherwise, your communication is looking very aggressive. Now, there are different communication styles. So, where you fall, which category you fall into. So, anything, Barbara, I feel all of us are here because we don't really been trained on different things. If we are trained, and if we are willing to be trained, we can show up as a completely different person. And of course, yes, that was my one example I can give you right now from my clients.
Thank you. And for those who have never approached or never thought of investing in their image or executive presence, where do you recommend us to start to begin this journey and to start become more conscious perhaps about the power of our image and to start to let our presence blossom and flourish? Where do we start, Swarnali?
That's a good question. Now, where to start depending on which area of your personality you want to work. If you want to start with your appearance, that is your visual image, that how you show up as your visual communication. You are going to the office every day, and or you are going to a meeting, or socially you are going somewhere. So I will say you find out what is your body type and wear clothes according to your body type, and not because of the someone whom you idealize, that person is wearing that kind of clothes, or the film star is wearing, or the mannequin is wearing in the shop. But of course, in our age, we don't do that, but youngsters do that a lot. And I see that. And don't go for brands. No brand, you are your own brand, number one. All these basic things we need to know, that you understand your face type, so you will choose the right specs for you, you will have the right haircut for you, so then aesthetically you will be more presentable. And sometimes, because society we have not been trained to accept it. If a young girl goes and stands in front of the mirror and appreciates the beauty, in my country, we grew up in that way. Although I was blessed, my mom has never said that. But they say, okay, you don't have to waste your time. Please go and study. So we have never appreciated self love. We have never been told that, okay, you look good. And when, if somebody comes and tells you, you are looking fabulous today, you feel happy, right? You feel happy. So, appearance wise, there are certain things you can do. You can find out your personal coloring, what kind of color suits you. An image consultant can comes and does that. That is their job. Body language wise, you have can be aware, can be mindful, and it is all about being self-aware. It is all about being conscious that how I am sitting here, I'm slouching, I'm just like this, I'm reluctant, I'm low energy, how I'm presenting my body to you. And that's, world is a stage. World is a stage, as Shakespeare said, and we are all actors. We are playing different roles. I'm playing a role of a coach and on your platform, and you are also playing a role. And when you will go back, I will go back, we will play another role. So we be aware of our role and we tweak our appearance, we tweak our clothes, we tweak our body language accordingly. And communication also is the same, that how, what is the voice, what is coming up from here, what is my voice, where I'm speaking, am I shouting, am I very soft, what is the speed, what is my pace. Everywhere we can work on ourselves, because there are so many YouTube videos, there are so many social media platforms. We can, if we want to have the focus that I want to learn, you can learn. But the problem happens, actually, somebody has to come and tell you, yes, you are doing right. And I think there you need a mentor.
We do need to come to you and get some help.
There's so
Uh,
many talented ones. Yeah.
Swarnali, I know that you also integrate the work you do with meditation.
Oh, yes.
Would you like to share a little bit about that?
Yes. It is bringing a big smile on my face. And thank you for asking me this. This is my new journey, Barbara. It's a new journey. And it's a journey which has started very, very weirdly and differently, like many leaders, like all of us. Why leaders? All of us. We have grown up in the schools and colleges and degrees and diplomas and this material world with our logical and analytical brain, right, which is working for us. Now, with this meditation and the meditation I practice, a neuroscience based meditation, where I use my heart, body, and brain, and I come from a human physiology background. So it's very easy for me when I'm saying heart, I can literally see the heart, because I have drawn the heart so many times when I was in my undergrad. And when I'm talking about the brain, I literally see the brain. When I'm talking about the master gland, I have done pituitary so many times, I have drawn it. So the thing is, I practice it, and I was drawn here. It's suppose some invisible force just got me here, because basically meditation has nothing to do with religion. This meditation, no meditation is nothing to do with religion, and I'm not a very religious. I never followed any religion in that way, and no religious practices. So here, what I practice is a brain, body, and heart based meditation. When I'm saying brain, I'm saying that brain, which I thought is the brain what I have. And now I'm thinking, oh, that is only 5% of my brain, which is making me analytical and logical, making me learning different things, making me work. All the leaders all over the world, they are using this 5% of their brain to work. But what happens when we sleep? That time also our body is working, our liver is working, kidney is working, blood is flowing, heart is beating, brain activities are happening. Who is doing that? So our brain is not shut. There is a brain which is our subconscious brain which is taking care of that. In this meditation, now I have understood when we can shut our logical and analytical brain, and there is a process. So then you change your brain waves. And in my meditation, what I do, I just change my brain waves. When you change your brain waves, certain things happen. The body goes into a healing mode. You are connected with your own self, and suppose you call it Christ, you call it Buddha, you call whatever you, in your way you want to call it, or Krishna or Ram in India. There is a higher energy and higher force than us, which is making this whole universe work. And if we can connect, we can't connect if we make this until and unless we make it shut. And this brain is associated with our five senses. We are feeling it, we are understanding it. So, this meditation, I actually request all the leaders to practice it because we are in a stressful, full of anxiety world and work. All the time they are into stress. Now, where they will go to stress release? Every time I will run to a detox center, every time should I run to a retreat, every time should I go to someone who will solve my problems. Nothing is needed, everything is here. So, only thing we connect with our actual inner self, not the outer body.
Yeah.
There is a subtle body. So, it is my meditation is all about understanding my own self. Who is, what is the purpose, what I'm doing, why I'm doing here, what I'm doing here, how I can become from my more crude form to more subtle form. So with meditation, I'm connecting with myself and I'm becoming subtler. Subtler, subtlest is God. And that is a practice, and I think all the leaders should practice it because it will help you for your stress release. So literally I play with my brain waves. If there is an EEG machine, and there are so many meditators who we do group meditation who use these EEG bands. It comes, wearable tech. In these days, people wear Apple Watch, people wear so many different things. So if I can attach and band to all of us, and we will show different brain waves like beta wave, alpha wave. When we are falling into sleep, we are going to theta and then going to the other waves are there. But when we're aware, when we're active, we are going to high stress condition means high beta wave condition. And it will be all coming there in the EEG machine. So now we don't need EEG. You remove the EEG. So you just practice that meditation. And if you can't practice that meditation, you just do me a favor. You do your breathing because if we do a slow breathing, we calm down our nervous system. And I practice a breathing which is, I call it 478. On a four counts, we inhale on four counts, we hold the breath on seven counts, and we release slowly on eight counts. What happens? It slow down our whole system and the nervous system. So we feel a kind of calmness, and when we are calm, we take better decisions. We heal our body because otherwise we are holding the stress all the time.
So, would it be fair to say that your process, your method takes care both of the inner image and the outer image, in the sense that through meditation, you help your client really connect with a certain image of themselves, which is based on their being calm and more relaxed instead of always on a high stress level. And then you work on the outer image and then you connect with them. Would it be fair to say that that's how you operate? So you.
I don't bring it under my image in that way. I want to keep it as a healing process and a manifestation process because the manifestation. Now one of my client, I don't know whether he is here or not. He's a very senior client of mine. And he sent me this one when he came to know that I'm doing this meditation, manifestation, and healing meditation. He told me, Dr. Swanali, manifestation was the chosen word by Cambridge Dictionary in 2024, so it is for real. And I am practicing it. I'm getting the results. There are so many in our community who are getting the results, and it is crazy. It is crazy things happening. How it is happening, I don't know yet, but it is happening. So the body, when body is calm, then we are getting some results. I will not call it that, but of course, the inner peace comes, inner healing comes when we understand who we are and where we stand, and we get our calmness. We are not in a hurry to compare ourselves with others. We are not in a hurry to run to others to find out that how we can heal ourselves. It's all here. And I say, Barbara, one thing all the time I tell it to my clients: if you think you can, you can. If you think you cannot, you cannot. If you think you can, your body, your brain is so smart, your body is so clever and intelligent, they will secrete few chemicals for you just because of your intent, just because if you are thinking in that way. So they will secrete chemicals which will help you for that can. And if you think you cannot, then they will help you for that cannot. So
Got it.
these are so important, and this calmness is so important for our everyday going in this world.
Dr. Swanali, now, after all you have shared with us, if people want to connect with you and they want to learn more about your work, how you operate globally, although you are based in Singapore, right?
Yeah.
Where they can find you.
Barbara, I think the best way to find me is on LinkedIn. I I try to reply on the personal message whenever I can. Otherwise, there is a team assigned to do it for me. And also, I have a website called drswarnalidasgupta.com where I have my team members' numbers are there, so they can reach out to me there. But I still prefer LinkedIn. I am not very comfortable sharing my number until and unless I know the person. I know the person, because still I get these kind of messages that, Dr. Swanali, why can't we go for a coffee together? So for those, or to keep away all those people, I'm not sharing my number all the time, but my team is there to take care of it. But LinkedIn will be the best place to reach out to me.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So LinkedIn, it is for those of you who want to connect with Dr. Swanali. And now we are coming to an end for today. Because of the technical challenges, let's say that we have had this time with the new software, I don't see very well here if there are questions. So what I can suggest is if you are here and there are questions, you can just type them on a chat, and if we don't make it to answer today, then Dr. Swanali and I will be very happy to address the questions on LinkedIn. So, Dr. Swanali, I thank you so much for your time, for what you have shared with us, and for the work that you are doing for both executives, top executives, and people in general that want to really invest on their image and make it more than just an aesthetic element. So, thank you so much for being here. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Barbara, for having me here, for your very probing, intelligent questions. So I could give some values, I believe, to who doesn't know about image management, who doesn't know that what benefits they can get out of it. So thank you again for having me.
Thank you very much, and see you again soon. Bye, everybody.